Hey, Andrew.
Yes, Mark?
What do you call Antarctica with a lot of flowers?
What?
Bloomberg.
Okay.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know, bud. I just don't think it's that funny.
Well, in that case, please sign this non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, I guess.
They did not like Obamacare in a box with a fox, in a house, or with a mouse.
Pokemon go to the polls.
Have decided in 2020 to run for president.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
To get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Welcome back to Nude News. I'm Andrew Furman.
And I'm Mark Ramson. Following the New Hampshire primary, the Democratic race has narrowed down quite a bit. With some tough losses in the first two states, Andrew Yang has dropped out from the Democratic race. At this time, Yang has made no endorsement, but he insists that he will endorse any candidate that signs on to his plan for a universal basic income.
As we approach the Nevada caucus, the delegate count is as follows. Mayor Pete at 22, Senator Sanders at 21, Senator Warren at 8, Senator Klobuchar at 7, and Vice President Biden at 6. According to 538, polling in Nevada has Bernie in the lead with 26%, followed by Biden at 15% and Buttigieg at 13%.
On Thursday, 78 years after President Franklin Roosevelt forced over 100,000 Japanese Americans into internment, the California State Assembly voted on a resolution apologizing for their role in the single largest forced relocation in U.S. history. The resolution, which outlines California's history of actions leading up to internment, apologizes for the, quote, unjust exclusion, removal, and incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II, and for its failure to support and defend the civil rights and civil liberties of Japanese Americans during this period. It continues on to say, given the recent national events, it is all the more important to learn from the mistakes of the past and to ensure that such an assault on freedom will never happen again to a community in the United States.
The federal government issued an official apology for Japanese internment in 1988, providing $20,000 in reparations for every person who was interned. The resolution comes as the fifth in a series of apologetic actions in California. Over the past 2 decades, California has issued apologies to Mexican Americans for the state's role in deporting migrant workers back to Mexico during the Depression, Chinese Americans for discriminatory policies dating back to the 19th century, Native Americans calling the atrocities against them a genocide, and the LGBT community by granting clemency to individuals persecuted for being gay.
Recently leaked data is giving greater insight into China's so-called war on terror. Against its Uyghur Muslim minority, the Uyghurs are an ethnically Turkic group of mostly Muslims who reside in the western province of Xinjiang. Since 2017, the Chinese government have been massively detaining Uyghurs in re-education camps across the province.
Chinese officials have justified their actions by claiming that Uyghurs are promoting extremism and that their efforts are part of the larger global war on terror. A recent international tribunal has found that the Chinese government is committing crimes against humanity by harvesting organs and performing medical tests on Uyghurs in detention camps. Last week, data leaked to the Associated Press shows that Chinese officials have compiled extensive records on detainees, their families, their religious affiliation, and many more personal details. The database also provides that the Chinese have been using religion as a basis for arrest and detention, singling out individuals who grow long beards, attend mosques, or pray 5 times a day. With the growing threat of the coronavirus in China, many in the international community speculate that if the virus infiltrates detention centers, it could be catastrophic.
A cruise ship was put into quarantine after it was discovered that a passenger who had recently gotten off the ship tested positive for the coronavirus. The ship, Diamond Princess, has been docked in Japan while the quarantine is in effect. All 3,700 passengers and crew who are aboard are being tested for the coronavirus. The quarantine began February 5th and is expected to at least last 14 days, ending on February 19th for most, but will be extended for those who have been in close contact with others who have been tested positive for the virus. Of the 3,700 passengers, approximately 400 are Americans, 44 of whom tested positive for the virus and stayed in Japan, and the other 14 returned to the United States. So far, there have been a total of 542 confirmed cases making the ship the largest site for the virus outside of China.
Stacey Abrams' announcement, or lack thereof this week, garnered lots of media attention. The former gubernatorial candidate from Georgia announced that she will support whoever receives the Democratic nomination and would be honored to serve as their vice president for any of the candidates. In addition, Abrams said she would foresee herself becoming president before the year 2040.
And that's the new news. I'm Mark Ramson.
I'm Andrew Furman. Remember, size only matters when it comes to poll numbers.
And maybe crowd sizes.
Have a great week, everyone.